So, Marc Warnke here with PackGoats.com. I keep getting asked, how do you break down an elk to put it on goats? And the way you do it is you got to remember, your biggest increments based on your goat size are really going to be in that 30-pound range. It matters how hard the terrain is. When I have a tough pack out, right now we're 9 miles back in. So I'm going to try to shoot for packages that are about 25 a side, no more than 50 per goat, and all my goats can do that very easily, but they're still nimble enough to cross deadfall. But what you do is you skin back, you take off each quarter, you take off all the rib meat and the flank meat, you take off the back strap, and you take off the inside loins, flop it, and do the same. There's plenty of videos on that, so I'm not going to go into that. But more importantly, I think when we're taking the neck off, that's a 25-pound package. So don't leave it attached to the back strap. When you take the skirt, that's another about 25-pound package. Same with the back strap, but the breakdown happens on the front quarter and especially the hind quarter. So that's what I'm going to go into more detail on. Okay, so as far as the front quarter goes, this is the front quarter off the elk. The elk carcass is just above us. You can see with rocks, I've made a platform so that I'm keeping everything as clean as possible, right? It's difficult to do that in the backcountry. The other thing that I notice that people do wrong, I sharpen my knife probably 10 times while I'm butchering. I just sharpen it over and over. I take a little packable sharpener. But this front quarter really has two parts to it, and the scapula is a pain in the tail to flay meat off of, and it's more complicated, but most of this is burger. So you can cut this into 10 pieces and it doesn't matter. Most of this is going to be burger and or sausage and that sort of thing. So I don't try to get super intricate worrying about steaks on the front quarter. So you can break it down into a bunch of little pieces. Pieces of the calf. This is definite burger. It's definite canned meat. So I use this as small pieces that I can ballast all my other bags with. So I'm not really going to show you how to break this down necessarily, because it's just about taking all the meat off and getting down to bone, and you can handle that. Here's the packages. I highly suggest you get synthetic bags. There's tag bags, caribou bags. The old days of the stretchy, cottony crap, it just doesn't function as well. These are super strong, they're breathable, they'll keep the flies out. It's the way to go. And you can see I'm just hanging each bag as it goes, and I'm going to pack this out on 7 goats. I could do it with 5 and or 6, but I like to spread the weight so everybody can handle the hard terrain. I'm going to go into more depth in the hind quarter on how to break that down, because that is more difficult, but that gives you an idea on that piece. Alright, so now onto the hind, and this is the one that is more about separating muscles and steak groups and keeping your stuff in order. Now I butcher my own meat, so when I go home I know how I kind of separate it out, and I suggest if you haven't butchered your meat before to do that, because it'll tell you how things are constructed. But you can see there's kind of big muscle bands and groups, and you can see here's the ball sockets. I always start with the hind quarter with the outside down, ball socket up, and what I do is I think about a line through this meat from the ball socket to the knee. So there's his knees right here. That bone's going to run right through here, and you can see there's a separation in this band of meat. So I need to get to that bone. So I'm just going to lay that out and go in between that until I get down, and now I'm at the bone. So the bone's right here, and then I'm just going to slowly start teasing it away and keeping these in the largest muscle groups I can, knowing that I'm going to eventually have to break them up because they're going to have to go on a goat. So I'm going to go in here, and now you can see I've already separated out one nice little piece of meat. This is a big steak piece or a roast piece, so see how the connective tissue is between each piece. It's almost like skinning. And I'm going to take it back. And now this is lower, like calf meat that's connected. So I can actually pull that off too. And again, this is going to be burger. Alright. And now here's a big nice piece of meat that I can now cut into steaks because I've successfully taken it away. Now a butcher's probably looking at that and going, oh my God, Mark, you're killing it. But the reality is, we're 9.5 miles back and we're packing it out on goats. That is a beautiful piece of meat that I'm going to be able to get home and do my rest of my work on. But this piece of meat by itself is probably 17 pounds. So this will allow me to put it on another side of a goat, and I'm not really ruining any meat, and I'm going to take off other bands. I try to do them about this big, so then I can, you know, break them down as little as possible. But that's basically the process. You're going to keep taking the fillet and the bone off. You're going to keep taking pieces as they come off, and you're going to end up with about 3 major pieces off of a hind quarter, and just keep them as big as you can. And there it is. So now I've taken off that big hunk of steak, and then I've just filleted around the bone until I've been able to pull it away. Now we have this big tube of meat. This is a big upper roast, so I'll always pull this one off. And this is kind of sinewy and that sort of thing, so you always can tell steak meat because it's tender. It feels tender in your hand. You can feel tough meat because it feels tough in your hand. So you can see how I'm just going down into these packets. Now I really have 3 packets. 1, 2, 3. And again, if you start with the hip socket going up, you can use the same system. And again, we've got a nice clean rock surface here. You can see the meat staying clean. And we'll get off another nice little package. So, get down into here. Oh, okay. So now you got another pack of meat. So you can see, nice clean meat, nice clean meat, nice clean meat, and they'll fit right on a goat. So I hope that helps. PackGoats.com. I'm Marc Warnke. If you have any other questions, feel free and put them in the comments, and I hope this helps.